A Greek seafarer more than 2,000 years ago recounted his journey along the trade routes joining Egypt and India. Along his long voyage by sea, his ship arrives in Sumrهم, founded in the land of Sakalan, the heartland of frankincense. These are his words. Before arriving at the country of frankincense, one can see mountains of high altitude with rocky and steep slopes. Beyond these, we reach a port built for the region's frankincense trade. Piles of frankincense lie unattended on the dockside. Not even one single grain of frankincense can be stolen from aboard the vessels, otherwise the ships cannot sail, for it would be against the will of God. The port is, in fact, under vigilant protection by the gods. Our anonymous mariner sees and describes Sumrهم in its moment of maximum splendour. He is struck by the beauty of the place. The region close to the port of Sumrهم bears witness to a very ancient history. On top of the Inkitat, the eastern rock facing Sumrهم, the human presence dates back to a very ancient period, the Paleolithic period, 60,000 years ago. Also, some evidence of late Neolithic came to light about 6,000 years ago. The great historical importance of this area was due to trade of a precious product, frankincense. In only a few areas around the globe did exceptional climatic conditions allow the favourable ecological habitat for the birth and growth of the frankincense tree. The mythical aura of frankincense suffuses the country where trees can grow, the Arabia Felix. The desire for procuring frankincense was the basis of the expedition of the Queen Hatshepsut toward the country of Punt in the 2nd millennium BC. Alexander the Great, just before he died, wished to move his army toward the southern border of the world. He was hoping to be attributed divine honours for his conquest of the country of perfumes. The port of Sumrهم, from the 3rd century BC to the 5th AD, was at the centre of the route connecting the Mediterranean to India. The peak of this trade was at the time of the Roman Empire, with a vast increase in numbers of vessels arriving at the port. The city becomes wealthier and wealthier. Vessels from Egypt and India dock at Sumrهم, loaded with several goods in exchange for the precious frankincense resin from the ancient Dauphin, amphorae filled to the brim with wine and olive oil, precious furnishings from the Mediterranean arrive at the city, as do precious stones, textiles, pepper, and exotic animals from India. The presence of the Indian pottery, Indian objects, and an inscription in Brahmi Tamil indicate that certain Indian communities resided, at least temporarily, in this city. At that time, the landscape surrounding the city was different from what it is today. The territory was rich in vegetation, grain, sorghum, and coconuts. The port was protected by mighty walls, many times rebuilt and enlarged with towers over the 8 centuries of their existence. In the north, the central position, there is a monumental gateway. It is divided into 3 double-shutter gates and leads into the city via an uphill zigzag route. After entering into the city through the gate, there is a residential area with many houses along the streets. There also existed a small second entrance to the city lying on the northeastern side. It was also important because it allowed for access to the port, and it was from here that goods from trading ships entered into the city. The market square was not a place of open exchange, but a circumscribed and protected area under the rigid controls carried out by the city authorities. The main temple in the western part of the city is dedicated to the moon god, Sin. Originally, Sumrهم was a small but well-organized town of about 200 to 300 inhabitants.
Hunting for large cetaceans was practiced. This was a very dangerous activity. Small boats would surround the whales and push them toward the shore while spearing them with their harpoons. Real workshops for metalworking are attested in Sumrهم. 4 furnaces for producing iron objects and 1 for producing bronze ones are located in the area around the market square. In the city there are ovens for baking bread, furnaces for making building plaster and pottery. They produce tools, objects, and purple-dyed cloths. Numerous artistic items in different materials, like stone frankincense burners and bronze items, bear witness to the refined tastes of the rich inhabitants of this port. Today, Sumrهم still maintains its fascination and charm. We can easily imagine the emotions of the ancient mariners arriving after a long and arduous journey to the city in all its splendour. They would feel secure in their hearts that this was a city protected by the gods, and they would be soothed by the wafts of its unique clouds of perfumed frankincense.